So Tirana, Albania has been one of the best travel experiences of my life. Let me show you why. What's up everybody? It is my first day here in Tirana, Albania. I feel like I'm back in Colombia. The smell, the vibes, the traffic, the way the buildings are. But what's incredibly nice about Albania is that it's a very safe country. So Albania has a population of about 2.8 million people, although there are said to be around 8.5 million Albanians all over the world. Tirana itself has a population of around 700,000, which means 1/4 of the entire country lives in Tirana. On November 28th, 1912, Albania declared independence. In 1939, Albania was invaded by Italy. Italy and Albania have a long-standing relationship that has lasted up until today. Fun fact, many Albanians speak Italian because from 1991 to 2004, there was a channel on TV that showed a bunch of TV shows in Italian. So most of the older generation speaks Italian, and a lot of the younger generation at least understand it. So I've been walking around for the last 3 hours just to kind of get like a general vibe of Tirana. It's definitely a poorer country, and you can tell in the infrastructure. They're also surprisingly not that tall for Eastern European. Albania is also relatively cheap and affordable. I'd say it's around 30% cheaper than Poland, which puts it at around the same prices as Ukraine. Not as cheap as Thailand and Vietnam, maybe a little closer to like the Philippines. So if you're making a Western income, you could live quite a nice life in Albania. However, it's not somewhere that I would personally live. I still think it has around 5 to 10 years of development before I can recommend that place for people to live. But I met a lot of foreigners there, mostly Italians, that absolutely love Albania. Albania also has their own form of currency, which is the lek. They also accept euros everywhere, but the conversion is a little less than what you would get if you would just withdraw money yourself. So 98 leks is to 1 euro. $1 is around 90 leks. So if you go see the menu, if it's like 500 leks, it's around 5 euros more or less.
So this is a good representation of how Tirana is. You have this beautiful new apartment next to this really old shoddy looking apartment, right? And then you have all these wires all over the place. Classic third world country, because you see that in Vietnam and Thailand too. All the wires hanging, you see there's some tree branches stuck within the wires too. Also seeing the clothes hanging from the houses. Here we have like a broken pipe of some sort. It's coming down, and there's a lot of water leaking from here. It's just not properly made. They also later had a connection with the Soviet Union, and after that, China. The history between China and Albania is very interesting, as they often featured each other in videos. The feeling that I get walking around, I feel like it's like a mix of Colombia and Turkey. You have like these phone stores all over the city. The electronic stores have the exact same vibe and feel to Colombia or to even places in Southeast Asia. And the people have been surprisingly super nice. Albanian people are very friendly, and that was the thing that surprised me the most. As soon as I touched down, I feel like people here are extremely helpful. Everybody's super nice. And no, they're not. All right, I guess not. It's also got this Eastern European style, you know, like this is super obnoxiously loud. This kind of style with the track suits and the brand name shirts and the skinny jeans. You'll see that everywhere here. The people here are also very fluent in English. And every time you go into a restaurant, there's always going to be an option for an English menu, even though sometimes it's not physical, it's like a QR thing. It's also very loud. It's chaotic. The traffic rules don't seem to be 100% enforced. There are motos everywhere. There's a lot of honking and noise everywhere you go to. So we're in the main square here in Tirana, and it's this big open space. I think there's like a marathon going over there. I saw something having to do with the Greek embassy, but it feels like there's not too much to do here. The buildings are still in development. Look, you have a construction right there. You have construction right there. You have construction right there. That's a very cool building. I'm very curious to see how this place will look in 5 to 10 years. I think a lot of passport bros are eventually gonna make their way here. One, the women are super, super hot, and I'll talk about them in a little bit. But two, because it's a little cheaper compared to other European countries, and the fact that Americans can stay here for up to a year without a visa. I think once Latin America gets played out and Southeast Asia gets played out, this might be one of the future destinations. I don't know how receptive the girls are here to foreigners. You know, I don't think that's gonna stop guys from trying. So imagine you arrive to a country at midnight. All the stores are closed. You have no way of accessing internet. That's why I cannot recommend enough the eSIM program Saily, which is the sponsor for today's video. This has been a genuine lifesaver for me. Instead of having to figure out the SIM situation when I arrive to a country, all I gotta do is go on the app, buy the SIM for
the duration that I need before I go on the trip. And once I arrive to the country, I'll automatically be connected to the network. And the great thing is that it's not even that expensive. If you guys have experience buying roaming plans, you know that they're really expensive and they can cost up to $200 a month. Saily is also extremely easy to use. All you have to do is pull up the country you're going to be traveling to, pick the duration of time you're going to be there, make sure you install the eSIM into your phone, and once you arrive, it'll automatically connect to the network. Having the peace of mind knowing that you don't have to worry about anything when you arrive, it's priceless. But make sure to buy it and activate it before you arrive so you have it when you arrive to your new country. So if you want access to this game-changing technology, use code WHERE at checkout to get 15% off your already affordable Saily plan. In 1967, Albania declared itself an atheist state, which meant it was illegal to practice religion. Up until 1991, when communism fell, which makes Albania a very unique mix because there's a lot of people that are Muslim, they also have Greek Orthodox, and they have Catholicism. They have this mindset where it doesn't matter what religion you are, you put country over religion. And Albania is one of the few examples in the world where multiple religions have been able to live together in harmony. And I think there are a few factors for this. People were allowed to choose their religion, and because they don't have a lot of the violent history, for example in the Middle East between Israel, Palestine, all that stuff has been going on for years, they're able to accept each other no matter what religion you are. But it seemed like a lot of the younger generation, very similar to Poland, they identify with the religion but they're not extremely practicing.
My nail tech knows how to keep a little secret. I don't wish for my success, I speak it. I caught a buzz and you did too, but you tweaking. I look like I've been getting money, how reeking. You smell me, that's LV. Walk around with my chest out of my skin smooth, I'm healthy.
Something that's surprising is that we're in the middle of October, and right now in Poland it's getting quite cold. Here I landed and it's humid. Right now it's 24. I'm wearing a t-shirt and I can walk around and enjoy. And at night it gets down to maybe like 16, so it's still quite warm here. It's an interesting mix of so many different cultures that I can't quite put my finger on. You have the language that looks Turkish, and the people I would say also kind of look Turkish, Greek, but with like an Eastern European twist, because the fashion is very much Eastern European. As far as cleanliness goes, it's kind of a mixed bag because it's not completely dirty like many places in maybe Southeast Asia, but it's not the cleanest either. And I've seen so many instances of people just littering on the street. Like they'll just have like a plastic cup or something and they'll just throw it in the grass. And it seems that there's not really a respect for the rules the same way that it is in Poland. Also, I noticed that there are a lot of stray dogs and cats here. And I read somewhere online that the dogs are actually something to be worried about because it's generally hotter and a little more humid here. It can cause the dogs to be a little more aggressive. So I'm walking around a little bit outside of the center in what seems to be an upscale area, and I feel like I was transported right back to Medellin. I noticed this when I was in Ukraine too. Colombia and Ukraine, they have very similar tastes in terms of like architecture and what they consider luxury. And I noticed that in some places here in Tirana as well. I'm very curious because it still seems like Tirana's developing. It's in the early stages, but I think once a lot of Westerners start coming here, I can easily see it turn into another Medellin.
Even to how the streets are. I'm walking around here and it feels like I'm in Poblado.
I think you still get like a 4-season experience here, but it's in the middle of October and it's still quite pleasant to be outside. I think that's going to be a big reason for why some people would want to move here. There's also quite a bit of homeless people you're going to see on the street. I think this varies depending on the European country, but here it's quite noticeable. Also, they don't have Uber, but what they do have are 2 apps. You have Speed Taxi Albania, which essentially works the same as Uber, or you have a phone number that you can text on WhatsApp, Blue Taxi. I think there's also Green Taxi, where you just send them your location and then they'll send a taxi to your place. I also found it curious that a lot of the taxis in Albania were also electric cars, and I think that comes from their relationship with China right now, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, so this is like a perfect representation of Albania. So you have this beautiful architecture in the bottom, this really nice store, and right above it you have this super old looking apartment. Wanted to order too?
Yeah, I wanted to order too.
Yeah, I'm ready to order too. How's it taste, bro?
It's really good. It's actually really good, yeah.
Yeah? Ooh.
Best of very, very good.
That smells really good. Okay, so I ordered a couple things. I ordered this
soup thing. I saw him have it and it looked really, really good. And this thing is called tave. I have no idea what it is, but we're about to find out.
Good.
Oh yeah, good. You wanna try it? You wanna try it? It tastes like cheese, a little bit of meat. It's kind of like pasta sauce almost. And this soup.
Anything can pasta.
Got some meat. You didn't check it.
Meat in it, like that.
It doesn't say it says chicken fried.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm here at KFC and I'm ordering food. And we go to the beverages. They serve beer on it. I've never seen that before in my life. So I got to experience a little bit of Albanian nightlife. And it's quite good. And I don't say that about a lot of cities. I met up with this guy that I met at the airport. His name is Hadi. He's this Lebanese Italian guy. Most of his friends are either Italian or Albanian. And it seems that there's a big Italian diaspora here. The nightlife is cool because I normally don't go out to clubs much. The club here was really nice. Music was quite good. And everyone was just chill, minding their own business. What up, bro? Wanna say hey? Hello. No. YouTuber, yeah. Albanian people are super nice. They're not used to seeing foreigners here. I was talking to an Albanian guy who was telling me that they're nice to foreigners because they want to present a good image. But within their own community, they're not super trusting of each other. And I wonder how true that is.
I'm gonna do some guy talk right now. If you're a girl or you don't want me here to talk about women, you can skip over this part. I'm just sitting around watching and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, there's so many hot women everywhere. Now, I don't think they're quite as pretty as Slavic women, but as far as like sexiness, Albanian women are really, really attractive. They have these Greek looking faces, like Mediterranean almost, a little bit of Middle Eastern influence as well. They have the Eastern European elegance. Their bodies are ridiculously curvy. I did not expect that at all. One of the negatives of Tirana is that there doesn't seem to be a lot to do. If you know a lot of people from there and you have a little group, I think Tirana is actually a really amazing place to be and to live. As far as like tourism goes, I highly recommend skipping Tirana because honestly, there's not a lot to see. Everybody talks about the south of Albania and some of the beach cities that are a lot more popular, so I would recommend those instead. If I had to give Tirana a scale of 1 to 10, for tourists, I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10. For living, at the moment, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. But I think in 10 years, that's definitely going to be bumped up. I highly recommend that you guys watch this video next. What do you think? Let me know down below. Peace.